All right, so Rosemary is asking that her neighbor has a Wi-Fi router, and the signal comes upwards to where she is. She's done some shielding on the floor, which doesn't entirely block the radiation, which makes sense. I'll explain that. Welcome to the GEOVITAL Academy. I'm excited that you're here. This morning we'll get stuck into measuring instrumentation and, let's say, the theory of doing a home assessment. This is Patrick Vandenberg, your global radiation specialist. All right, so first thing you said, it doesn't block the radiation sort of completely. That makes sense. So let me draw you a little picture. Okay, so, all right, let me simplify this. So you've got, let's say, a bedroom here. You got a ceiling, and you got a neighbor underneath. Okay, so you could put some shielding in place on the floor because, you know, you've got some source of radio frequency radiation that you're trying to shield against. Okay, now the shielding is likely to reduce the exposure of that source if it is exactly on the other side of it, right? As in, if you've got a certain amount of RF coming up from there and you put shielding in place, or you need quality shielding, then you would expect a reduction from that one source. But shielding one surface, as in floor or ceiling or wall, you're going to get reflection from other things. Right. So whilst you might likely reduce the exposure to the Wi-Fi router from underneath you, let's say in the distance, you've got a cell phone tower, I don't know, kilometer, mile away. You've now, depending on the angle, you've now given that was already coming into your bedroom, right? But now you've created a surface that it can reflect in, right? And so if you have a bed sitting on the top of that, right, depending on the angle, you could increase your exposure to that. So the end result, well, you sort of have to see what happens. You should take a body assessment, a body measurement of what your body's actually absorbing in terms of RF instead of an air measurement to see if you're making headway, let's say. But the chances are, if you shield one surface, be it a floor, be it a ceiling, be it a wall, just loosely, you know, in relation to anything we can sort of think of, chances are that you may have achieved a small reduction, but the chances are large that you have not created an environment which we would say, now you're doing it right. Now the levels are low enough. So when it comes to radio frequency radiation, get rid of this stuff. In terms of radio frequency radiation, in a bedroom environment, right? I don't care so much in a daytime area, but in a bedroom environment, you need to do walls, ceiling, and if you're not on ground floor, you need to do the floor as well. So you box yourself in. That way you're not amplifying any of the other sources which inevitably are making the way into your space already. You're protecting yourself against those and the immediate source. And now in your case, it's a router that you're focused on. For other people, it's often the other way around, as in they've got a big cell phone tower. And, oh, look at that thing. I want to do something about that. Let's shield this one bedroom wall, right? But now the three towers that are there, they're reflecting in that surface and it's coming back to their bed in an extra angle, right? Twice. So that's why single surface shielding is often disappointing. It may alleviate a little bit, and if you're, you know, if it takes you from a point where you have a symptom, oh, that's a whole different story. I think this explains it properly. Let's say you have your body has a perfect state of health if it's here.